Hello, hi, back to class. Welcome back to class. Okay, today we are going to creating hand-to-hand analysis on inventory um, data set. And this data set contains inventory movement and inventory products. So let's go to our table. Like I've, if you don't know how to navigate this interface, I've got videos that that shows how to navigate this interface. So we have our table report view, table view, modeling view, DAS, and all. Then we have our visualizations and we have our data bank where we keep our data, and we have our filters and our ribbons on our home settings. So now I'll go to our table view to check each data that we have. Okay, as you can see, this is our inventory data. The inventory movement, we have the ID movement, we have the product ID, we have the movement type, we have the core quantity, we have the movement date. Then for the second table, we've got product ID, we have the SKU, which is fully means stock keeping unit, stock keeping unit. And we have category, we have warehouse, we have stock on hand, we have recorded level, we have um supplier, we have unit cost, we have selling price, and we have last stock, last restock. So those are what we have in our table. Of course, for we to get accurate data, we have to um, join this table. We have to clean our table by removing unnecessary things, duplicated values. We have to handle our missing values, standardize our date format. We have to remove invalid transactions and standardize our warehouse range. We have to clean our data set before we start analyzing it. And that is what we are going to do first. But before further I do, I would like to create date table. This is an end-to-end um, analysis. It is an end-to-end inventory data analysis. So let's go and create table. So to create table, you come on your ribbon and click on new table. New table. So which new table are we creating? We are creating a date table, a calendar date table, so that a date table that we can use to analyze all the movements, we can use to analyze all the table columns and all. So let's give it a variable name. What are variable names? Variable names are names you give to um, your data. A variable is like a bag that contains every other things you want in it. So now that's just the simple meaning of a variable. So now let's create a table, and our table name will be called calendar date. So we want to create a date using calendar. Then we pick. Then what is our date table name? Is our the parameter is end date, start date, and end date. So where do we have the start date and end date in our table? Let's check. Okay, it's from the movement date. It's from the movement date. So we are going to work step by step all together. So let's go again. So we say main movement date, comma, max movement date. We have to close this parenthesis there. So we close this parenthesis too, and we enter. So we can see that our date column has been created. So let's go ahead and create our year, month, quarter, and the month format. So we want them in January, February, and all. So we go ahead and create new column. So we are creating columns inside the date, calendar date that we have created. And the new column is what? We call it year. We call it year. That's the variable name. So it's year function. What's the name of the date we created? Calendar date. Here it is, calendar date. Then we close the parentheses and enter. We go ahead to new column again. Now we want to create months. So we go ahead and say months. Of course, we'll see our months there. Say months, calendar dates. Close the parentheses and enter. So it will give us the number of each month involved. January will fall to 1. You can see it's a cross of 6 months, 6 months transaction date. So we have the first month to the 6th month. So now we want the month format. So we still create a new column. We want the month format. Be sure you are giving a correct variable name so that when you are analyzing, you understand your data. So here we'll be using format, calendar date, comma, open your quotes, 1, 2, 3. That's we want the months to be in three alphabets, then we run it. So January will be JAN, February FEB, like that, so on and so forth. Let's open and see what we've got. Can you see from January to the 6th month, which is January, February, March, April, May, June. Yes, to June. You can see June. This is June. Say okay. So now to the last one, which is quarter, So QUART here. Coastal Q and formats. Take my formats from the suggestion. Then I'll take my date column, comma, and Q, right? Then I run it. Okay, so we can see that we have just two quarter there because it's 6 months. So we have the first quarter, which is the first 3 months, and the second quarter. So apparently, we have been able to create our date column, our calendar date column successfully. Here it is. Let me close all other tables. So here it is. We have year, quarter, month format. We have the month and we have the date. So we can just close everything now. So we now go to our data modeling, which is the next thing. Our data modeling and model all our data. So by default, this inventory movement and inventory product has been modeled because of their relation based on their relationship. So I will also model this to one to many relationship. So we can see many to one relationship. So it is successfully modeled. Now we have all our table in one and active. Now let's go and transform this table. We have to go ahead and transform the table. So I've come to my ribbon and I've clicked on transform. Now we want to go and transform the table. Okay, so we are on the Power Query Editor interface where we need to clean our table if there's any need for cleaning. So let's do the cleaning and make sure everything is standard and intact. Okay, is standardized. So now let's inspect the table one after the other. Product ID, movement type, in out adjustment. Okay, quantity. Okay, for this I would like to have the full quantities spelled out. Quantity, then we have the date. So let's check the date, and the date is okay. It's okay. The date is okay. So now let's go to inventory products. We are at inventory products. We have the SKU. We have the SKU, which is stock keeping unit. Stock keeping units. We have the category, we have the warehouse, we have the units, costs, selling price, and last restock. Okay, so now let's close and load. It's okay. It's not really a dirty data. So we have fixed what is needed to be fixed in it. So let's close and load. Okay. So now since our data has been closed and loaded in our Power BI, now let's create some measures. Let's create some measures. So to create measures, you right click, on any of this table. You can create measures anywhere. So this pane will come out and you click on new measure, new measure. So what are we creating today? You can also create your measure in your DAS. This is the space for creating measure, but I usually prefer to just right click and create my measure here. So now to create my measure, or what are the measures that we needed to create for this table? We are creating total products. Total products. We want to know how many products we've got in our table. Total products. So we use these things to know, um, each product we have in our table, in our table. These things to get the unique product. These things, we go to our product table, inventory products. That's it. Inventory product ID. Then we close and enter. So, so this is our unique product. Unique product. So now let's create another one. We have the total transactions. Total transactions. Then let's know how many transactions we have done so far. Total transactions. So that will happen in our inventory movement. In our inventory movement. Total transactions. So this parameter is count rows or counting rows of each transactions that we have made in inventory movement. Count rows what? Inventory movement. Then we go again. We want to know the total quantity received. Total quantity received so far. We want to know the total quantity received using under inventory movement. You can see that in our inventory movement, let's go to our table. We've got quantity table. Total quantity received. Sorry, see in our inventory movement, we've got quantity column. So we want to know how many quantity we have received so far. So let's go back to our report view and create a new measure. Let's create a new measure. And this measure, we call it quantity received. Quantity. I want to start my quantity with a cap letter. Quantity received. So how do we calculate this measure? We use calculate. How do we get this measure? We use calculate, sum, then what table are we looking at? We are looking at it in inventory movement. Inventory movement under quantity. Then we look at quantity, comma. Okay, he's asking me to close the parentheses first, comma, then inventory movement type. So what type of inventory? Inventory movement type. Equals to what? Equals to received. So what do we receive? Actually, then we close the parentheses and shoot. So here we have looked at the quantity we received. We calculated it and we look at the quantity and the movement type. The quantity looking showcasing the quantity and the movement type received. So that is the measure. Now to create a new measure, we go again and click on new measure. Now we want to see the quantity sold. The quantity sold. We want to see the quantity sold. So the variable will be quantity sold, quantity underscore sold, quantity underscore sold equals to calculate the sum of quantity sold calculate inventory quantity, comma, same thing like that. Inventory, inventory movement, the movement type equals to sold. Now, the other time we check what we received. This time is the same process. Now we want to see what we sold. what we sold. Now, also let's calculate a new measure. Let's calculate a new measure and look at what? Look at the current stock. Look at the current stock. Current underscore stock. How do we look at the current stock? We look at the quantity received minus quantity sold. That's the measures that we've created. That's the quantity received minus quantity sold. Quantity received, sorry, minus quantity sold. Then we shoot it. That is our current stock. That is our current stock. So now let's go again and create a new measure. Let's go again and create a new measure. We call it inventory value. Inventory value. Call it inventory value. Inventory value. Okay, let's create something else, which are the key. I don't want to spend too much time on measures because we are still going to analyze. So let's look at sales revenue. Sales revenue. So for sales revenue, we look at Fomex, inventory movement, comma, inventory movement quantity, inventory movement quantity, multiplied by related inventory product selling price. Inventory product selling price. Then we close and shoot. Now we go again and create a new measure. Create a new measure and we name it inventory costs. Inventory underscore costs. Let me close the space. So for inventory costs, we look at Sumex, inventory movement, comma, Inventory quantity, multiply by related. We are using the parameters related inventory product unit cost. Inventory products Now let's look at gross profit. Let's look at gross profit. Gross profit is very important in this analysis. Revenue minus what? Inventory cost. Revenue and we have created sales revenue here. Sales revenue minus inventory costs. Do we have inventory costs? Yes. Inventory cost. Mhm. Total sales minus inventory cost. Okay. So to the final one, we are going to look at the profit margin. We are going to look at profit margin. That is the final measure. That's the final measure. Then we go to the analysis. The final measure is profit margin, which is supposed to divide uh, gross profits, comma, and what? Revenue, on the sales revenue. Okay. Apparently, we are done with our measures. We have created our measures. We have cleaned our table. We have modeled our table. We have created measures for our table. Now we are going to the analysis. We are going to the analysis. We want to analyze the table. We want to look at inventory analysis. We want to look at the value. We want to look at product analysis, top revenue, monthly quantity sold. Then we want to look at most profitable products and low selling products. We want to look at revenue rank Um, so let's go on now. Let's go on now. So to create our no, let me close it. To create our um dashboard now, a quick one. So we are going to create a sales dashboard, um, which I'll take my matrix to visualize what I'm creating. Okay. So I'm looking at category, my column, yes. Let me see the category and the selling price. And let's see the revenue that's made on it. So we can see. So let's use clustered charts to analyze that. We can put the selling price in the legend. Yes. Let me put it in focus mode so we can see what we have created for home, for fashion, for beauty, and for electronics. So we can see how our sales revenue has grown from 0 to 8K. We can see that the highest sales here is fashion, is fashion, is fashion. So let me take it back to okay. So I'll take my matrix again. Now I'm seeing categories and there's the revenue, then the selling price. So then let me visualize something else again. Let's see the quantity sold and no, sorry, that's KPI. Let's see the dates, maybe in quarterly date and the quantity. So we can see that in April, this is what is sold. In March, this is what is sold. And let's see the revenue. So we can see that that's the revenue that is made in um uh, each month. So we could put that in. We could use line charts because of the okay. So in the month of May, we see what is happening. Month of June, February has the lowest. February has the lowest sales, and there's a little strike in um in May. May has the highest sales. May has the highest sales, and there's a flat period where between April and January. Between April and January, I'm trying to, while we um while we analyze the data, I'm still trying to, give in-depth knowledge about each table we are analyzing. Okay, so now let's look at maybe let's look at supplier and their category. Supplier and their category. So there's the supplier here. Let's see the category of products. And did I say category? I mean quantity of products. Yes. So so we can see here. So for this, I would like to filter. For this, I would like to filter the quantity. Maybe just let's just have quantity. Let's filter the suppliers. Let's filter top 10 supplier is fine. Top 10 supplier is fine, so that we don't have it too clumsy. Then apply filter. Okay, so you can see count of supplier for here. When you are doing anything, you have to, it goes with aggregates. So I was trying to pick the count or a distant count, a unique supplier. You can see supplier 23, supplier. That's yeah. Um, so we can see the value they supply. So here you can see the revenue and category of the products. Don't always make it very simple and easy to understand. Keep it stupid simple. Kiss stupid simple. For the last chart, we are going to, let's look at stock. Let's look at stock and their quantity. So we've looked at revenue here. We've also looked at revenue monthly. We have looked at revenue by their selling products. We have looked at the stock and supplier. And here we want to look at the stock and quantity. What we have in stocks is an inventory. Since it's an inventory data set, of course, stock is very, very important. Stock is very important. I don't think that's will give me justice. Okay, stock in hand. This is what I was looking at before. Stock in hand, to go to value. is in value, yes. Stock in hand. Here we can see stock suppliers and quantity. So here we can see stock in hand and product ID. Stock in hand and product ID. So it'll be stock in hand and category. Yes. So yeah, this could give us a very simple analysis. For home use, we can see that we still have enough bulk stock. For fashion, we still have enough so that products that are selling, we won't run out of stock. We won't run out of stock when we are able to check our the stock in hand and category. We can check the revenue of the stock that and the price that's selling it. We can check the quantity by suppliers, how many we were supplied at a particular period, and we can check the quantity and their sales revenue monthly. So with this, we've been able to solve problems. Solving problem is the key. Then we come here to title our um, data set, to title our analysis. So to do that, we just click here. We call it inventory analysis. Inventory. I want to use uppercase inventory story analysis. Go on and okay, okay. So we can click out now. Inventory analysis. You can still make it bigger, right? Be bolder. Then for our KPI, we've got numbers of KPI here. For our KPI, we could just put like 4 KPI. We want to see our restock, inventory cost. We want to see our gross profit. We want to see our stock. We want to see the total products we've got, and we want to see the sales revenue. We know, of course, that is very important for us to see what we are making. And okay, I want to adjust my charts. Okay, okay. So this is an end-to-end analysis, hand-to-hand analysis of an inventory um products and movements, end-to-end analysis, end-to-end. You can see how our data are interacting. They are interacting. Thank you for staying tuned.